Backing up is very important. Anything could happen to your computer. Your hard drive could die, you could spill a glass of water on it, pretty much anything could happen. And then if that computer's damaged and the hard drive's damaged, then all your data is gone if you don't back up. Backing up is really inconvenient though, and it's something that I didn't used to do and something a lot of other people don't do. But in this video I basically want to show you what my backup process is, because yes, it isn't perfect, but I kind of thought that it might help you all a bit to back up your computers. And it would also be nice if you guys could give me some feedback, or basically just give me any advice if you think of any for this backup process, if you can think of how I can do things better and stuff. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So let's start with what computers we have to back up. So we have 4 laptops, one being a Mac and others being Windows, a custom built desktop PC, an iPad, and 4 phones. They'll have to back up seamlessly, regularly, and in a way that doesn't cause any inconvenience or make any family members have to ask me what they need to do. They also need to have separate sections for different devices, and each person should be able to access their own backup whenever they want. I also want to use services that make accessing the data really easy and effortless. So this is obviously a big task, but thankfully I took the first step a while ago. I decided to upload every single photo that I had, every single digital photo that I had, up to a place called OneDrive, which is basically online storage for photos and stuff by Microsoft. I organised them based on their country, year, month, and then event. I've carried this on into the current day, but now I also hold videos, documents, and everything on it pretty much. But how do I get all the space that's needed for all this data? Well, I use a little something called Office 365. With this service, you get 1 terabyte of data. Although I have 10 because I signed up before they decreased it. You get the whole Office suite, 1 hour of Skype calls, and all of the Office suite is kept up to date. You can get this for £6 per month or £60 per year for an individual. Although if you want to step up to 5 users, which is what I did, you can get it for £8 a month or £80 a year, which I think is a much better option anyway. After getting Office 365, the image backup system was pretty much sorted, because as soon as one of the phones took a picture, it would just be uploaded straight to OneDrive through the native OneDrive app on that phone. So this basically solved the image problem altogether. So yes, this does pretty much mean they're all just dumped in a camera backup folder, but at least they're backed up and they're not on the phone themselves. As long as they're backed up, it's fine with me, to be honest. And as an added bonus, since Google Photos allows you to upload an unlimited amount of photos and videos for free, we also have it do this because why not? Also, about the whole privacy thing, which lots of people say about with Google Photos, I made a video about it right here so that you can check out for yourself. I also personally have titanium backup on my phone, but there isn't really much else to back up, to be honest. I only really use it to back up everything, so if I change ROMs or something, I can quickly move back to where I was before. It's just a whole convenience thing really with titanium backup. For music, we have a family shared Google Play Music account, and my sister uses Spotify, so songs won't be lost. I haven't really looked into contacts much on these phones, but I'm pretty sure they're all saved to Google or on the SIM card. So either way, they should be safe, but this is definitely something I'm definitely going to have to look into in the future with these phones, just to make sure everything's safe and nothing's going to get deleted. So that's pretty much it with phones anyway, so let's head to the iPad. So with the iPad, there isn't really much on there to back up. I mean, it's mostly just apps and the app's data and stuff like that, because we don't really take any pictures on it, we don't really listen to music on it, and if we do, it's on Google Play Music anyway. So what I just do is I just set it to back up to iCloud, and then I just pretty much move on, to be honest. So moving on to arguably the most important devices in our households, the laptops and desktops. So these are the devices that hold our most important possessions. My laptop holds my video files while I'm editing the videos, and it also holds other important things that I need to put in my videos, such as video graphics, After Effects films, audio files, and stuff like that. Now staying focused to my Mac for a second, the process is pretty similar, and this is basically how I go about backing up on that. None of the documents actually get saved locally. One great feature of the new versions of Microsoft Word is that it allows you to save new documents immediately to OneDrive. This means that any documents that I write, such as the script for this video, are not saved locally, but they're saved immediately to OneDrive, so I don't have to worry about them staying on the computer and potentially getting lost. Other files on the computer are backed up to an NAS Drive or a network attached storage drive, which is basically a hard drive that's sitting on your network. The particular one that we use is called the WD Cloud. And how I do this is through Time Machine, which is the Mac's native backup solution, which actually works really well, and I didn't really feel that I need to have any alternative to this. The WD Cloud is great for this because it already has a dedicated section for Time Machine, so it doesn't interfere with any of the other files on the NAS drive. But as for files such as my video files that I kept in sync with OneDrive as well as Time Machine, I use this little app called Drive. So what Drive does is it shows you all the files that you have on OneDrive as placeholders. You can double click on folders to sync them, right click to unsync, and files under a certain size will automatically download when you open their folder, and other files will download in the same way when you right click on them and select sync. And files that you add to folders will automatically be uploaded. This is great because it allows me to see my whole OneDrive without OneDrive filling up my entire computer. As for the other laptops, the OneDrive accounts that they're connected to don't actually take up that much storage, so it's fine to have all the stuff go locally down to them. So I just use the native OneDrive apps that's built into Windows 10 to do that. But when it comes to backing up to the WD Cloud, I really don't like Microsoft's native backup system. I just find them both to be really bad, really clunky, really slow, and they're just not that good really. So what I've decided to do is I've basically searched the web for a great app to use, and the one that I came across is called Backup, with a V instead of an A. So what this basically allows you to do is it allows you to copy specific folders on your computer to specific folders on your NAS drive. So I can specify exactly what important folders I want to copy over from the computer to the NAS drive, and they all just move over. And what this app does, which is really great, is it only syncs over the new files. So after the initial backup's made, backing up is really fast because it only copies over the new stuff. And this whole process is automated and happens every 6 hours without having to notify the user or require any action from them. It just works in the background and it's really good. It is paid, but for me it was a perfect app. Moving on to the desktop, it does have the backup app too, but it also has the added task of bringing down everything from OneDrive onto its hard drive and then backing that up to the NAS drive through backup. So the process that I currently use I think isn't the best, and I think I need to rethink it and look into it. So what I do now is I bring everything down from OneDrive through the native OneDrive app, and then I push it all onto the NAS drive through the backup app. So this will then mean that OneDrive is actually stored in 3 places, so I know that if OneDrive goes off online, then it's all going to be fine. So this sounds good and all, but the problem is that this computer is used for gaming a lot by my brother. And as you know, multiplayer gaming requires a good ping. And the problem is when files are uploading and downloading all the time, it does kind of affect the ping a lot. So it does make the game a lot more laggy. The second issue is I have to keep checking whether files have actually been downloaded or not to that, because sometimes the OneDrive app stops working, there's a conflict of some sort, or it just doesn't want to work basically. So I need to go and check it often, and this can be really inconvenient. So what I'm thinking of doing sometime in the future is maybe getting a dedicated computer which is just basically there to just pull down all the OneDrive stuff onto an external hard drive and then have that external hard drive pushed to the NAS drive as I do through backup. But I'm not really sure if this is the best way to do it, so I'd love your comments down below in the comment section. And as for an added measure, I also use this thing called Live Drive, which basically just creates a second cloud backup of basically everything on the computer, and it just does this pretty much all the time. So to finish off the whole backup process, the NAS drive also sends important data and specific calls that I set onto a 1TB hard drive that's connected directly to the NAS drive. So that's basically it. That's the whole backup system that I use for my house. It's not the perfect backup system ever, but it does still kind of work. But I'd love to hear all of your opinions as to what you think I could improve with this backup system, or if there's another way that you do it that's a lot better. I'd love to hear how you do it down in the comments down below. And I'd just love to hear your whole opinion on backing up and whether you do actually back up. But I'm going to leave it there anyway. I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.